and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton. And today we are going to visit with folks from Hampton's newest brewery, Bull Island Brewery. I have two people with me here today, the owner, Doug Reier, and head brewer, Thomas Lee. Welcome.
Hello.
This is really exciting because I think we've had breweries opening and it's putting Hampton on the map as a great place to try a real good, interesting variety of craft brews. Congratulations.
Thanks. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
How has your opening gone so far?
So far, it's going very well. We've got a pretty good response from the community, and so far the reviews have been very, very good as well. So.
Yeah, I had a great time. As I told you, I came to the soft opening. It was jammed with people. Mm-hmm. Everybody loved it. It's you're in downtown Hampton on the waterfront there under the parking garage. It's a gorgeous location. I think the day I was there, you were not able to open the garage doors, but what a wonderful thing where you're just basically indoor-outdoor facility.
That's right.
Yeah, always weather permitting.
Yeah. You can always get, if it's cold or rainy, you go inside, and if it's warm, you get to spill out onto the docks.
That's
there.
right. We have quite a bit outside seating on the waterfront, so I'm fortunate. We are fortunate.
Yeah, it's beautiful. But it's a little bit of a story, a saga, how you ended up there. You want to tell us that?
Well, yeah, when I first hatched this idea, I approached the city of Poquoson, and they were very receptive. They wanted the brewery there. Unfortunately, there was really no location available in Poquoson, so I started looking outside of Poquoson. And my first stop was Phoebus. I think a lot of people know about that.
Yeah.
I found a location that I thought would be a really neat place to have a brewery. And as things turned out, there was a small fire that kind of ended that. So I hired a broker, Craig Reed, and so he started taking me around to different places. And one was right there on the waterfront. And I looked at it, it's like, there's no way I can afford this. There's no way I can, So we checked it out anyway, amongst other places. And as it turned out, the ceilings were high enough, space was big enough, and I could afford it. So, and that's how we pretty much ended up right there.
It's wonderful.
Very
And
lucky.
you kept that Bull Island, tied to Poquoson,
Yes.
but it clearly says Hampton, Virginia. We want
Right.
we want people to find you.
I get that question so often. Why are you Bull Island but you're in Hampton? I said, well, I say I expand it. I started in Bull Island and in Poquoson, and I've always called it Bull Island Brewing Company, even then, because just playing around.
Even when it was your garage, you were Bull Island.
Yeah, even when I had my detached garage, and the brewing there was Bull Island. So it sounds good. And, I say I just expand it to Hampton, and that's where we opened up professionally.
I think a lot of people have a dream of opening their own business, and a whole lot of people love to, brew their own beer. How did you get from hobbyist to commercial success? And it's a little early to say success, but it looks like you're in that direction.
You can say success. We're open.
It's been booming so far.
Yes. I started out long ago, actually, on a Mr. Beer. It was like a 1 gallon thing. It was terrible. So I didn't, and it was the nastiest stuff I ever tasted. So I stayed away from it for a few years. And then about 10 years ago, I bought a 5 gallon kit, and it was a partial mash, which is using grain steeped in and I hadn't gotten to the full grains, the whole grain stuff yet. So I did that for probably about 2 years, and then I went to all grain and to a 10 gallon system. And then it just became an obsession. Christmases I got.
No, you had a real job at this time, right?
It costs a lot of money.
Yeah, I was going to say,
That's
it's not a cheap hobby, especially if you got to give it away.
Right.
Because you probably can't legally sell it.
No, you cannot. And so it just became an obsession. Christmas and birthdays were easy for me because it was just beer equipment. So I ended up, my last piece of equipment was something I built myself. It was 25 gallon kettles, and I bought a stainless steel fermenter, and I started brewing the triple that Thomas has done a great job with. just the same. Started brewing a triple and the stouts, and it's like that's what everybody wanted. It seemed like I couldn't brew anything else, so I couldn't keep up with the triple. And it's Laura's favorite triple because that's my wife is Laura, and it was always Laura's favorite triple in my computer. And we were sitting there trying to figure out names. He said, "It's Laura's favorite triple. Why change it?"
It's already got a name,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So now people can ask for the Laura. But we're still brewing. It's probably one of our bigger sellers, along with the IPA, and everything's going really well. So.
And how did you guys get together? How did he come on board?
The story about Reno.
Yeah.
I took a trip out to see friends. I still have a lot of friends out in Reno. I lived there for a while, and I just so happened to be looking for breweries to visit while I was there. And my friend took me to a brewery and said they were open at 11 o'clock. It was 11:30. The sign said closed. So I said, well, let me try. Let me just check the door. So I pulled it. It opened. I waved him in, come on. And around the corner comes Thomas. And I told him, I said, hey, man, no wonder you don't have anybody here. Your sign says you're closed. He said, it's because we are. Because they were a production brewery. They weren't a brew. They had brew pubs there, too,
It's
for the same
specific
company.
hours,
Yeah,
okay.
great. Yeah, he was at Great Basin Brewing Company. And so he said, I can't sell you any beer, but I can give you some. So I tasted some of their beer. It was really good. And we ended up talking for about an hour. I left Reno. I gave him a shirt. I asked him what size he wears, and he gave him a shirt, and I thought that was it. And he emailed me about a week later, 2 weeks later, and asked me if I was looking for a head brewer. And I said, not necessarily. And I said, but who'd you have in mind? Hoping he was going to say him, and that's what he said. So long story short, flew him out. He loved the area, the breweries, took him to all the breweries on the south side and up here, and he liked it. And so I made him an offer, and he accepted it, and now he's brewing
wonderful.
Now I'm a
great
Hampton
beer.
resident.
Yeah.
So how long have you been here now?
Pushing 5 months, just right around 5 months now.
Did you miss Reno?
I mean, don't get me wrong, definitely, but this is a nice home as well.
Great. Well, we're glad to have you.
Good
We're
answer.
glad
Happy
to
to be
have
here.
your beers. Let's talk a little bit about what beers you're brewing. Tell me what a triple is. I'm not familiar with that. Laura's favorite triple.
Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about that, then I'll let him take over the brewery part.
Okay.
Laura's favorite triple is it's a Belgian style. It's a Belgian triple. We actually use a special blend of 2 Belgian yeasts. That's just like I did when I was brewing, but rather than me blending it, we have a lab that blends it for us. And it's a mild beer. It's a strong as far as the alcohol content, but it's a lot of what we find is a lot of people that don't like beer, that prefer wine.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're talking to me
yeah,
now.
they prefer. We got a lot of wine drinkers that say they don't like beer, that they drink it and they really like it. We have people that are experienced beer drinkers that love it, and so it's kind of an all-around beer. It's a more yeast-forward beer, but with nice citrus floral. We are using M Price as our distributor, and I just spoke with them yesterday. I actually got a list today of we wanted to. We're doing baby steps. We're a 7-barrel brew house, so we don't have a huge amount of beer to put out in the market for distribution. But at this point now, we've gauged ourselves. We know what we need for our tanks, because we serve directly from serving tanks to our taps.
Oh, wow.
Not a lot of places
cool.
are doing that at the moment.
And so we go right from fermenter, serving tank to our taps. So, but we do keg some off, and we do have the Kolsch and the triple out right now at about 7 locations. And I just got the list today, and I know several like Stillwater, the Old Town Tavern, the Corner in Pocosin.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're in Pocosin.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
only fair, right?
Yeah. And so I got the list
And
today.
Heavens, aren't you at Heavens?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw you there the other day.
And Tap House, we're not on yet. They have our beer, but they haven't
rotate.
put it on. Yeah. So and then I talked to them. I spoke with them. I just took some more over to them, and we have a couple more beers going out. The stout and the IPA. We're going to release some. It's definitely it's definitely a family. But as far as us and the community, as in downtown Hampton, there's a lot of potential down there. So we are working on food. We will have food probably within a month or two.
Great.
And we'd like we're still going to work with the community. I mean, Stillwater has their menu on the back of ours. So when you come in, she will actually, sometimes the owners bringing it, but they'll deliver right to your table. They come and yell out a name. So.
Well, that's awesome. And this is really good too. This one's your favorite, isn't it?
Oh, I have to say I like the Cole's the best of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is our double stout.
You guys and Ouzelfinch and, St. George's are going to convert me into beer drinkers.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
It's amazing how good this is compared to, I'm sorry to say, but what you buy in the supermarket. It's just a completely different drink.
Well, supermarkets are getting better too, though. They have nice selections.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I agree. This and this is a recipe that I had when I was home brewing that Thomas just has done a wonderful job with, and he's also done. He did the oyster jalapeno porter.
I heard good reviews of that. Yeah, that's fun.
And we hear the same thing.
It's and fun, and people like to try things.
Everyone's like, it doesn't sound like it would be good, but they drink it. It's like,
but I'm going to order it anyway.
I sent him this recipe too back in March.
Yeah.
I gave him
That
the
was the
recipe.
first recipe.
I said if I take the job, I don't take the job. This recipe is all yours.
Yeah.
Here, thank you for flying me out. It's been letting me hear me out.
Well, I think we need to say cheers.
Cheers,
and
yes.
encourage people to come get their own and to visit Bull Island and enjoy the brews. Thank you for watching.